Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Richard Bidnick. I am from New Jersey, and I am a proud new member of the WalkAway group. I think that this is an amazing opportunity for so many people to come together from many walks of life to stand tall for the things that make America so special. A little bit about me. I'm a single gay man. I have usually centered my attentions toward the Democratic Party up till about 2016, when Hillary Clinton was, pursuing getting the nomination. And I was violently against Hillary Clinton because I felt she was a liar. And she voted for the Iraq War. And she had information knowing that that war was a fraud, and she went ahead and voted for it anyway. And I just knew that she was no good. So I was searching around, and I actually had a contact with Bernie Sanders. I was living in Vermont several years ago. I was the CEO of a large nonprofit there. And Bernie and I kind of came together because I had an issue with my father. He was in a veterans home, and the senator and his staff were wonderful, and they helped me very quickly resolve a problem that had been ongoing for almost 2 years. So I thought he was a man of his word, and I had the greatest respect for him. And then when the election thing was going on and the Democratic convention, I was quite appalled by the events of the convention, and I was shocked that Bernie caved in and just gave up and joined Hillary Clinton when, quite frankly, WikiLeaks gave him the nomination on a silver platter. But he was weak, and he didn't really want to be president, I'm assuming, and it really upset me in a great way. And I knew then that I would never vote for Hillary Clinton if my life depended on it. And I then searched out and I voted for a third-party candidate. Quite frankly, as I think about it, my whole life I've always been somewhat of a libertarian and a very independent person with my own views of the world. And I've seen a lot in my life. I lived abroad. I am well educated. I have 2 master's degrees. I've traveled all over the world. I've been to every continent except Antarctica. And I've seen a lot from in third world countries to, first world countries. And so, I just felt that, I couldn't vote for anyone who didn't represent my values. And Hillary Clinton does not represent any of my values of who I am as a person, and I'm proud to say that. And so on election night, when we watched the returns coming in and we saw that Donald Trump was beating Hillary Clinton one state after another, a friend of mine and I were chatting online, and we were just laughing about it with glee, because so much of the fake news had said all along that Hillary Clinton was going to win by a landslide, and I was so thrilled to see her defeated. I was not one of these Democrats who was crying my eyes out that, Trump had won. I thought, well, he's an independent man, he's run a lot of big businesses, and he's going to shake everything up. And just as I thought he would, he's been shaking everything up in Washington. And a lot of great things have been happening. And I'm very excited about what's happening in this country, because I was so afraid that people like myself who are independent thinkers were going to be washed under the rug, and we wouldn't be able to even exist in this country anymore. So I'm thrilled to say that I think President Trump is doing a great job. And I really believe he's trying to make America great again. And yes, there's been a lot of saying that, he's a corporate man and everything else, but he has a great understanding that if the middle class doesn't survive and thrive, the people who are wealthy aren't going to thrive either, because the country as a whole can't really succeed if everyone doesn't succeed. And he's a businessman and he understands that. So I like his tenacity. I like the way he negotiates with things. It's very, very different. And, you know, I read an article in the New York Times just the other day from their archives from 1984 where they were quoted as saying that Donald Trump would make a wonderful and great president. Well, that is one truth that we know that the New York Times has written about. And so it's kind of like exciting to see. And I'm just so happy to see so many people on this site and reading and listening to their stories, because so many of us have very, very different upbringings and different experiences. But in the end, we have a common goal. And that common goal is that we want America to succeed. And we want America to be great again. And we know it's going to be great again. And yes, there's a lot of nastiness and insanity going on the left, sadly. But I came up with a logical term for modern day liberalism. Modern day liberalism is emotionalism minus any logic. And when logic goes out the door, chaos takes over. So everything I see from the new Supreme Court nominee and the insanity that's already starting, it just goes to show that these people are totally unfit to rule this country. I mean, they basically believe in anarchy, and the terrible ways that people are being treated who don't agree with their side that I'm seeing day in and day out. If you're not a politician, that young man who was in a restaurant getting his Coca-Cola thrown in his face and having his hat taken away from him. I think that was just so horrendous. I mean, so I'm hoping that we as a group will just keep getting larger and larger and larger. And this November, I'm predicting there will be a great red wave that's going to be flying all over our country. And I'm very excited about that. So thank you again, Brandon, for this wonderful opportunity for so many people to come together. It's just truly amazing. And I really want to do something with this group to make a difference. I have the time, the energy, and the passion. And I'm very excited to be here. And thank you again for giving me this opportunity to tell you a little bit about my story.